I'm Jess Land. I started up Jess Land Equestrian in 2014 after grooming for a few years for Katie Meredith and Philip and Sally Steiner. I used to event and I then switched to show jumping in 2017. And I generally run a team of about 4 horses and have a few thoroughbreds coming through on the side. And so I got into thoroughbreds back in about 2014 when I was still eventing and I couldn't really afford much else, and they're the best option really for eventers. I met Gina Schick, who has Event Stars, through buying them off her, and she sort of got me into retraining them and finding them homes off the track. And I probably sell about 50 a year at the moment and would like to keep building that. I like the idea of becoming a retrainer because you're sort of with a group of like-minded people that all want to do the same thing, and the access to the grant's been fantastic because it allows us to take on those slightly older ones or ones that have retired with issues that maybe aren't quite so quick and easy to retrain and rehome. So we had to apply to become an NZTR Acknowledged Retrainer, so there was an application process and we sort of filled out paperwork and they came out and did property checks. And it sort of allowed a group of us around the country to get involved with retraining the thoroughbreds and have more access to the grants to help rehome the slightly trickier ones. I've had a huge variety of thoroughbreds come through recently, from 3-year-olds through to 10-year-olds that have just finished up racing. It's really interesting. The older ones are probably the easier ones to get going. The young ones that are untrialled tend to be a little bit spooky and not quite so understanding, and the old ones just kind of get on with the job. We've sold them from everything from pony club homes through to polo. They've gone out hunting, they've been happy hackers, they've even gone dressage and showing, so done a bit of everything. So when they first arrive, we sort of do a basic test drive, so we'll just walk, trot, canter both reins, make sure they pick up both leading legs at canter and sort of start the basics of working in a frame. And then probably on the first day we'll just jump one really small jump just to see what their sort of first reaction is. After that we start lunging them over fences just to see, sort of it lets them work it out without a rider involved. And some of them are great at it and some of them we give up quite quickly. And then we sort of go to little cross-country jumps and more jumps under saddle. I find they probably find the more solid jumps easier to start with. They seem to read them a little bit better. And then we try and get a hack in, and that's sort of all within the first 3 to 4 rides or sessions off the track. And then the longer they're here, we sort of try and do some outings and complicate things a little bit more, jump out in the paddock and add a bit of height and a bit more fill and stuff. So when the thoroughbreds come through, I deal directly with the trainers and they can get hold of me through the Acknowledged Retrainers list. The ways they can help us make sure the horses find the right homes is letting us know any quirks and sort of differences or problems they've had while they've been on the track, and any injuries as well. Sort of the more information we know about them before they arrive, the more we can help place them into their new homes. I love how trainable and versatile the thoroughbreds are. I think if you took many other breeds and told them they were going to have a complete career change in 2 days, they'd absolutely pack it in at you, whereas the thoroughbreds just sort of chip in and get going. They seem to be pretty athletic, forward-thinking horses. I think they're actually a little bit more amateur suitable than your crossbreds and your warm bloods, and they're a lot more forgiving.